Okay, today's lesson is going to be about increasing speed by having an array of 4 sensors up the front. And how it's going to work is my 2 center sensors, my primary ones, are just going to do as they did before, a proportional steerer staying either side of the line. Now what happens when I turn my motor speed up faster and faster and faster and faster, when I turn it up to go flat out, when it's going really quickly, sometimes it can pass over the line without these first sensors picking it up. So what I've done is I have these second sensors at the back I call my emergency sensors. If something comes under the emergency sensors, it means the robot is about to fall off the line or has fallen off the line, and it's going to tell the robot to turn super hard and try to bring it back online. So that gives me an emergency set of sensors at the back. So now, instead of having a 3-way switch where I have 3 possibilities, the left sensor on the black, or the right sensor on the black, or neither sensor on the black, I've also have the emergency sensor on the left on the black, the emergency sensor on the right on the black as well. So there's going to be 5 possibilities. No sensors on the black, one of the front ones on the black, the other front one on the black, the emergency one on the back, and that emergency over the back one. So now we're going to build a 5-way switch instead of a 3-way switch. Okay, time to look at some code. As I said before, we need to make a 5-way switch, and we do that by putting a switch inside a switch inside a switch inside a switch, or what's more commonly known as an if else statement. So it works a little bit like, if we see something under the emergency left, then we turn hard left, else if we see something under the emergency right, we turn hard to the right, else if we see something under the main left, turn proportionally left, else if we see something under the main right, turn proportionally right, else just go straight ahead. And that's how it's going to work. Okay, let's look at some of the settings in this code now. I have tested my first 2 emergency sensors first before testing anything else, because I've considered that's more important, because if the black line's starting to come under the emergency sensors, it means the robot is about to fall off the line and I should turn a really tight turn before that happens. So I also experimented with mounting my emergency sensors a bit higher up from the canvas in hope that they will spread out and give me a reading from a larger area on the canvas. But being mounted higher up means they return less reflected light. So as always, simply just go to your port view, see what the value is when the robot's sitting over the white, and you'll set those switches to a little bit less than that. Now the setting for the motors for both those switch, obviously they're both turned on, and I have them turning quite tightly. On the left hand one, I've got it set to -70 for a turn, and on the right hand one, a +70 for the turn. All the motor speeds throughout the whole code I have set to 100, and of course all the ports are in A and B because that's where my motors are plugged into. The bottom part of the code is exactly the same as the 2 sensor proportional steerer from my last video. In fact, I just cut and pasted and dropped it in there. Okay, now to see how it all goes. So we're running at 100% motor speed, as fast as she can go. And does the sudden jerky turns, that's the emergency sensors kicking in. When it runs nice and smooth and fast, that's when it's successfully staying on the front ones.